Hello, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Yusra Afzal from Sehat Kahani. I am the Senior Manager for Wellbeing Portfolio over here. Sehat Kahani is the leading telemedicine platform which makes health accessible for all the people, all the population of Pakistan via its diverse telemedicine and telemental e-health platforms. आज हम सब यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट डिस्कशन करने के लिए जिसका मकसद ये है कि हम जो है वो फीमेल या विमेन मेंटल हेल्थ पर फोकस करें सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वुड लाइक टू इंट्रोड्यूस आवर क्लिनिकल psychologist Miss Neha Kanwal, who is the guest for this session with us. Hello Neha, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, sir?
I am good. I am good. So, Neha, would you like to give our audience a brief discussion, a brief introduction of yourself?
Sure. So I'm Neha, and I'm a clinical psychologist. Basically, not only about this mental health field, my research is also related to the mental health and how it is affecting women. And this is actually what I have been researching in the past few years as well. So I have been researching about it. I have a 5 to 6 year experience working in mental health field. I also provide support in remote areas of Pakistan through Sehat Kahani, which is a very good platform to reach out to women, to people who need mental health support. So yeah, that would be it.
That is great. That is great. Thank you so much, Neha. A, for being here with us today, and B, for being with Sehat Kahani throughout our journey. I would just like to endorse the partnership that Sehat Kahani and Zong has come together on. And I think that it is one of the most important partnerships that we have had entered. Zong and Sehat Kahani partnered last year to offer thousands of free remote and online consultations for the marginalized strata of the society. This collaboration is still ongoing and shall continue to support the people of Pakistan. Zong has offered more than 12,000 e-health consultations to the underprivileged members of community, and it has also facilitated COVID 19 relief patients, whereas throughout this partnership, we have facilitated 7,000 consultations, and 5,000 consultations have been applied or applicable to the non COVID cases. So you can still use our promo code Zong Sehat, SZONG SEHAT, and get a free consultation now. So, diving into our session, Neha, today our topic is well-being in women, a deep dive. I think that uh, a lot of our sessions have been focused on a preventive or a curative disease or a challenge and educating people about how to cope up with those challenges. But I think today it is much more wider discussion. We have been talking recently a lot about mental health. We have been recently talking a lot about how to increase the access, why mental health is important. But since it's March and we celebrate women and female achievements, women achievements this month. Um, I would like to, start off this discussion by just asking you that we observe that even though there have been a lot of conversations around mental health, we see that when it comes to women, there is a much higher prevalence rate. And that rate has been increasing, the gap has been increasing. So, what do you think is the main challenge when it comes to the screening and consultation of women's mental health or female mental health, especially in Pakistan?
Okay, so the first challenge that I have noticed over the years that I have been practicing is related to the fact that awareness is not there. And by awareness, I don't mean that people don't know the meaning of depression or people don't know the meaning of anxiety. They do know the meaning of these. Over a couple of years, what I've observed is they know the meaning of this, but what they cannot comprehend is the fact that this thing is as real as some physical illness, and it needs to be treated in that manner. So it has become more of an adjective, like I'm so depressed, I'm so bipolar, and I have very commonly been getting across these terms. I'm so anxious these days, and see what I say is this is good that we are talking like that. We are using these words in a very normal conversation. But what is a problem is that we are using these as adjectives, and we don't know that we have to treat them just like we have to treat diabetes, just like we have to treat blood pressure or something like that. So one of the main concerns that, or one of the main problems, especially for women, that we are facing is the fact that they are taking these terms more like they are adjectives, and they are just the words that can be used to describe their feelings. So, just describing their feelings won't solve the problem, and this is where I would say that the awareness is still lacking. And another very important issue is again related to the fact that a stigma is involved. So, even if females in our society know that they are going through something and they want to consult some sort of a mental health professional, they are not supposed to do that. They are not allowed to do that. Even if they have financial resources, even if they're educated, even if they belong to a very, upper socio-economic background, they just cannot, reach out to a mental health professional. What I, in a way, it's a blessing in disguise, but I don't know how to, feel about that. But over the years, I have met a lot of clients, females, who says that, they're seeking mental health help, but their family doesn't know. So either they telemedicine is playing a very important role in doing so in helping such women because they're talking on their helpline and they're literally hiding from the family and they're sharing with me कि जब मेरी फैमिली घर पर नहीं होगी या ये वाला टाइम है सो इस वाले टाइम पर हम सेशन रख लेते हैं बिकॉज मेरी फैमिली घर पर नहीं होगी दे कैन नॉट नो तो एक तरीके से अगेन एज आई एक्सप्लेन कीजिए ब्लेसिंग इन डिस्गाइज तो हो सकती है टेलीमेडिसिन बट अगेन reaching out and seeking mental health help is still a very big stigma and especially for women because if I just talk about a group that is single women or women who are not married yet उनके लिए it is even more difficult because they would even their family, their mothers, their immediate family, siblings, father would say कि अगर इस तरह की कोई हेल्प लोगी तो आगे फिर रिश्ता करने में प्रॉब्लम होगी लोग समझेंगे
Yes,
कि तुम्हारी
definitely.
मेंटल हेल्थ ठीक नहीं है so these are some of the things that we have been ignoring for so long that हमें इसकी आदत हो गई है and we're like okay with it कि चलो फ्रेंड्स में हम बात कर सकते हैं वी कैन यूज दीज वर्ड्स टू डिस्क्राइब आवर फीलिंग्स बट इसके ज़्यादा हमें कुछ करना ही नहीं है आई एम लिटरली डीलिंग विद अ ग्रुप ऑफ टीनेज गर्ल्स these days, and all of these girls are coming with a complaint of their emotional issues, of their cultural problem, of their joint family system problems, abuse, all those things. But what they don't want to do is they cannot open up and they cannot reach out to the family to say कि मुझे किसी support की ज़रूरत है. So
Yeah.
again, एक ये ऐसी चीज है that is creating problem and that is still needs to be taken under consideration because इसकी वजह से मेंटल हेल्थ हेल्थ जो है वो हम उस तरीके से प्रोवाइड नहीं कर पा रहे हैं जिस तरह की हमें करनी चाहिए. Then एक और चीज है which is strictly related to women. I'm strictly talking about women. A sense of acceptance. सेंस
Yes.
ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस ये है कि women think that they need validation. women think that अगर उनकी तारीफ कर दी जाए तो मसला हल हो जाएगा, या फिर इसकी शादी करा दी जाए तो मसले हल हो जाएंगे, या फिर if a woman is having problems with her in-laws तो इसका घर सेपरेट कर दे, मसले हल हो जाएंगे.
या
So
फिर बच्चा कर ले.
इनको
A lot of times
या
when
फिर
there are,
बच्चा करेंगे.
yeah,
यस एग्जैक्टली, या फिर बच्चा करने मसला हल हो जाएगा, या फिर बहुत ही कोई वो फैमिली है तो उसको थोड़े दिन के लिए बाहर पढ़ने भेज देते हैं, कहीं घूमने भेज देते हैं, शी गोना बी फाइन, शादी कर देते हैं, शी गोना बी फाइन. तो ये वाली वो सारी चीजें हैं जो क्विक फिक्सेस हमने बनाए हुए हैं. यहाँ पे उनको वैलिडेशन दो, उन्हें कहो क्या, यू आर गुड, यू आर डूइंग फाइन. तो हम लोगों ने एक माइंडसेट डेवलप कर लिया है कि ये करने से हम ठीक हो जाएंगे. तो दिस इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ गैसलाइटिंग, जिसमें हमें इतना बताया जा रहा है कि काम करने से हम ठीक हो जाएंगे, दैट वी एक्चुअली स्टार्टेड बिलीविंग इट, ये करने से ठीक हो जाएंगे,
yeah,
एंड वी डोंट नीड मेंटल हेल्थ हेल्प इन दैट रिगार्ड.
yeah, yeah,
तो
yeah,
कुछ ये चीज़ें हैं. अगेन बहुत सारे कंसर्न ऐसे होते हैं, सेक्सुअल इश्यूज होते हैं, अब्यूज रिलेटेड इश्यूज होते हैं, लीगल कंसर्न्स होते हैं, जिनसे डर के या जिनमें इन्वॉल्व ना होने के लिए women would just not talk about it, and they
yeah,
would go for a decade without talking about it and living
yes,
in that particular illness that she might be suffering from, or that she might be showing friends for, or that she might be on a borderline for. तो ये तो उसी वक्त पता चलेगा जब आप किसी प्रोफेशनल के पास जाएंगे, बट हम
yeah,
वो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं.
yeah.
So these are some of the limitations that I have, came up with throughout my practice so far.
Yes, yes. And that makes a lot of sense because a lot of times where you have to acknowledge that something is bothering you, हमारी एक mentality ये है कि we also have to place a blame on someone or something. That this is why this sickness is happening, right? So a lot of times when women, or for that matter of fact, children or men have to acknowledge that something is bothering them and they're not feeling okay, they're not feeling mentally healthy. They feel that by accepting it they also would need to blame it to someone, that either my family or my relationship or my workplace is causing me this distress, and that they think that it would make that thing evil or villain, and they would have to deal with all of that also. So I think that that is something that is very important. But yeah, we have been seeing that there are a lot of awareness raising campaigns and everything, but what I see is that we talk a lot, and वो जो कॉल टू एक्शन वाली एक चीज है ना, कि ओके वी हैव बीन टॉकिंग अ लॉट अबाउट देयर इज अ स्टिग्मेटाइजेशन, देयर इज अ ब्लेम कल्चर, देयर इज गेट अवे और escape culture. But I feel like there's still something जो कि बीच में से मिस हो जाती है, जो आप डिस्कशन या टॉकिंग पॉइंट से एक्शन पॉइंट की तरफ नहीं जा पाते. तो जो मेंटल हेल्थ की सर्विसेज है, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई से टुडे दैट आई नीड टू सीक अ सर्विस व्हिच गिव्स मी मेंटल काउंसलिंग, where do I go? So I think that information about the practical implementation of all of these steps, where do we miss that? What is the missing piece?
Okay, I'll start off by sharing a very personal experience recently. Somehow, due to some reason, I had to visit a gynecologist for someone, and I was the attendant in that situation. So, when I was sitting in the lobby and waiting for the person to get done with the consultation, what I was thinking is that this entire place that has a lot of cubicles for gynecologists should also have a cubicle for a psychologist.
That is true.
And by mentioning this, what I'm trying to generate a point here is that every facility that includes the reach of public, जहाँ पर लोग reach out कर सकें, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वहाँ पर कोई एक ऐसा वेल सेटअप प्लेटफॉर्म जरूर होना चाहिए, जहाँ पर out of 50, even if 5 people are reaching out to that mental health professional or anything, it's a win-win situation for me,
Yes,
because
yes.
वहाँ से कितने सारे लोग निकलते हैं either they are postpartum, either they are having some anxiety because they are about to give birth to a baby, either they
Yeah.
just received the news that they cannot have a baby. I mean, there are a vast area of problems that we can refer to वहाँ से निकलते हैं, and then that can give rise to so many mental health problems.
Yes.
तो
Yes.
वहाँ पर मुझे ऐसा लगता है ये कुछ connected points होते हैं. For
Yes.
example, if we are talking about a place where there is legal services provided, वहाँ पर कोई mental health support होनी चाहिए, और
Yeah.
schools में mental health support होनी चाहिए. So ये सारी जगह जहाँ पर हर शख्स का कभी ना कभी जाना होता है, एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो जगह होती हैं जहाँ यूजुअली जो आपके you are at the end where you receive bad news usually, or some news that is not so helpful. तो उस जगहों पर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वहाँ पर मेंटल हेल्थ सर्विसेज होना, एंड बाय दिस आई डू नॉट मीन कि वहाँ पे कोई क्लिनिक बनना चाहिए, यहाँ पे वहाँ पर कोई इंस्टीट्यूट बनना चाहिए. जस्ट द फैक्ट दैट लेट्स सपोज दैट बिकॉज हम यहीं पर हैं, लेट्स सपोज अ गायनोकोलॉजिस्ट टेलिंग person that such and such case is this with you, and if due to this reason you are having some mental health problems, you can consult this helpline, or you can consult this particular platform
Yeah.
जहाँ पर
Yeah.
आपको जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, and you can seek help. तो उससे होगा क्या, उनको एक ऑप्शन मिल जाएगा,
That is true.
उनको
That is
पता
true.
होगा कि this is another option that what I can use.
Yeah.
Because usually for women, especially for women, and when I'm saying that, I'm even talking about educated women, I'm even talking about working women, उनका horizon या उनकी approach इतनी limited हो जाती है that they don't even consider the fact कि हमें इस particular situation के लिए कितनी mental health को दिखाना है.
And it
I
is
mean,
also
this is a
हमें we are always given this notion जो कि एक बहुत ही glamorized notion है कि you have to be strong. For example, when a woman is going through phases of motherhood, of becoming a mother, no matter कि this is her first baby or this is her third baby, she has a lot of insecurities, she has a lot of anxieties in that, and even after she has given birth to a baby, if she has been facing difficulties, कहा जाता है कि motherhood तो एक blessing है. This is not something which should make you sad, it should make you happy. So वहां पे आप dismiss कर देते हो कि your feeling is not valid. I think that the point that you mentioned, that connecting mental health with physical health or general physicians will create that linkage, that it's valid to feel that way, it is okay to feel that way. I know so many women or so many girls who go through PCOS. They come to gynecologist for their sexual health or reproductive health issue, but that having PCOS, gaining a lot of weight, going through all of that hormonal changes gives you a lot of body insecurity, the hair growth and everything that comes with it. It puts a girl who's in a university, who's in college, who's at a workplace, so much of insecurity about how she looks, how she carries herself, how do people view her as a person. So I think that this linkage just validates their experience. And it also, because usually, for example, every time I have visited a normal general physician or a specialist doctor is with my mother or with someone from my family. So if a doctor says that इसके साथ ये feelings आना ठीक बात है, ये नेचुरल है, ऐसा होता है, और अगर आपको ऐसी फीलिंग आती है तो इसमें कोई एबनॉर्मल चीज नहीं है, ये कोई बीमारी नहीं है, और आप इसके लिए इनसे राब्ता कर सकते हैं. आई थिंक दैट क्रिएट्स, इट चेंजेस द होल नैरेटिव, यू नो देन इट डजंट बिकम.
having said that, yeah,
गो अहेड.
having said that, मैं बहुत ज़्यादा, we all know कि divorce rate कितना increase हो रहा है in our society.
या
May it be divorce, may it be separation, may it be khola cases and all that. I don't get cases where women seek mental health after such a breakage of a relationship,
या
which I, sitting here being in the field of mental health, it's almost impossible for me to grab this idea that someone going through such a big trauma of the life,
Yes.
in any narrative, it's a trauma of life. And you don't need mental health help, but we don't get cases like that because somehow it's suppressed, saying कि ये तो मतलब चलो ठीक है, ये तो ऐसी बात है ही नहीं जिसमें you are supposed to seek mental health. मतलब if we live in a perfect world, I would say कि इस तरह के cases में it should be mandatory for the person to take a certain amount of sessions so that whatever is there, whatever is boiling up, whatever is
Yeah.
going on, उसके बारे में बात हो. Even
Yeah.
see, I'm not implying कि ये डिप्रेशन फॉर श्योर हर शख्स जो इस प्रोसेस में जा रहा है उसको डिप्रेशन होगा, उसको एंजाइटी होगी, उसको क्या मसला होगा, बट हर उस शख्स को वेंटिंग की, हर उस शख्स को अपनी मेंटल हेल्थ को रिफ्रेश करने की और
Yeah.
किसी कोपिंग मैकेनिज्म के बारे में बात करने की जरूरत होगी. एंड
That
दिस इज
is true.
व्हाट इट इज अबाउट.
That is true. That is true. So, Neha, my next question to you was just about this, that, a woman goes through, or a girl goes through different phases of her life. There are small, small milestones that are put for her, completing college, then completing a degree, then getting shadi done, then getting a master's done, then having a baby, and then after a certain period you become a guiding light for other girls in your family. Then you're considered as an ideal person who has to guide the family, take everyone together. All of these are very like small milestones that are set for ourselves. लोग हमें बता देते कि अच्छा इस उम्र में आपने ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है. But my question is that, what are the different needs of a woman's mental health as she goes through these different milestones? For example, one concern for me was that, our elder women, they think that they have been through so much and they're so resilient that they do not need any help. अब तो इतना साल हो गया, हमने तो इतना कुछ बर्दाश्त कर लिया, हमने तो क्या कुछ नहीं देखा. But how important it is for them to talk about all of this, and what are the जो कि हमारे पास मेन चीजें निकल कर आती हैं डिफरेंट माइलस्टोन्स को लेकर.
सो बेसिकली स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम अगर हम माइलस्टोन की बात करते हैं तो स्किपिंग अ फ्यू इयर्स, मैं अगर टीनेज से बात स्टार्ट करती हूँ. सो टीनेज में वी ऑल नो दैट अ गर्ल गो थ्रू सम physiological changes as well, and that itself is very overwhelming for the girl.
Yeah,
Puberty hit होती है and bodily changes आते हैं
that is true.
and unfortunately there's not a lot of people who talk about मतलब किसी teenage girl को बैठा के हम लोग बताते नहीं हैं कि how it's going to either she gets the knowledge herself or one fine day she
Yeah.
सारी information bombarded हो जाती है कि ऐसे होना है वैसे होना है and all that. So what I think is the women who are in the role of elders at for teenage girls, they need to be more understanding and more compassionate towards them. At times ऐसे होता है when I'm dealing with teenage girls, it's very common कि मेरी अम्मी जो है वो मुझे ज़्यादा प्यार नहीं करती, वो मेरे भाई को ज़्यादा प्यार करती. This is very commonly observed. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब यहाँ पे I would not say कि यहाँ पर ऐसा होता होगा. ठीक है, आई डू नॉट अग्री विद द फैक्ट कि अम्मी भाई को ज़्यादा प्यार करती होंगी या बहन को कम प्यार करती होंगी, बट द फीलिंग दैट दिस गर्ल इज कमिंग एंड शेयरिंग टू मी मीन्स कि जो मदर के एक्शंस हैं दैट आर कंपैरेटिवली स्ट्रिक्ट बिकॉज द मदर बिलीव्स दैट दिस गर्ल नीड्स टू बी रेज्ड इन अ स्ट्रिक्ट एनवायरनमेंट ताकि वो अगले घर में जाके
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
entire thing.
Definitely.
ठीक है? तो
Definitely.
अब उस चीज़ में हो क्या रहा है, हम सोच रहे हैं फ्यूचर का, विच इज एक्सेलेंट, ग्रेट, सोचना चाहिए. बट उस मोमेंट पर दिस टीनेज गर्ल इज फीलिंग एक्सट्रीमली लोनली. शी हैव suicidal thoughts, she has self harming thoughts, she thinks she is worthless, she thinks her achievements are not celebrated, she thinks अगर वो फर्स्ट भी आ जाए तो कोई गाली नहीं होती, लेकिन उसका भाई अगर फिफ्थ भी आ जाए तो ही सेलिब्रेटेड.
It's celebrated.
वहाँ पर mothers need to celebrate them just as much as they would celebrate a boy,
But it's a
and that is
generational
something
cycle. I think it's a tough love.
exactly.
disciplining girls for their other home or their real home. It is a generational cycle. My mom will do it because this is how she was brought up. Her mom did it because that's how she was brought up. So it's a cycle. And I think that sometimes, like, at least I feel that we are also very tough on our mothers or on the
Absolutely,
generation before,
absolutely.
because now they have a double challenge. They are looking at us, like
Mm-hmm.
my mom and me, we have a very tricky relationship because she see me breaking
Every
through
girl.
those norms. She wants to help me, but she is also gone through this conditioning, right? So she might not find the appropriate words to support me. Like, I have seen that the
Mm-hmm.
girls who break through these generational cycles, it is a lonely path. But a lot of times I remember my mom saying this to me, that listen, I don't want you to get married early because I did. I want you to make your own identity because I wasn't given that opportunity. So I think that this relationship, but now I also see that she is going through so much and she's struggling to get help. So this is a very important part where teenagers might be more receptive to getting therapy than the older women.
Exactly. And you know what? There's something that I've read, and it has been with me for a very long time. This tough love that everyone thinks that women are entitled to receive this tough love so that they can be resilient enough. There was a very beautiful term for it, the mother wound. And this mother bones concept goes back to the generations. I mean, every mother receives from their mother and they're passing
Yeah,
it on.
yeah,
And even not even mothers. I'm not only talking about mothers. I'm talking about teachers as well. These teachers think even if it is a co-education school or if it is a co-education college or it's a girls' college whatsoever, teachers think that these girls are entitled to have tough love, or they are not supposed to be too much celebrated, and वो उनको एक एक लिमिटेड sort of validation देना चाहिए वरना कि वो expect ज़्यादा करने लगेंगे. And I do understand that all these things do come from a very caring spot, very maternal and very caring spot. But what I do not understand is this is creating trauma for the receiver.
yeah,
So, what
yeah,
coming back to your question, I really think that we need to be celebrated more. We need to be appreciated more because literally girls are making a lot of progress. And by mentioning that, I do not mean that there is a competition going on. But if someone
yeah.
is doing anything that is worth celebrating, that's worth discussing, we should do that without considering कि अभी अगर उसको अप्रिशिएट कर दिया और बाद में उसको अप्रिशिएट करने वाले लोग को में जाना नहीं हुआ, so what's going to happen? Let's not think about it. It's a discussion for literally another time. She'll be able to figure it out that way as well.
Just
So
brings
this
back
is
so many
somehow
memories.
I do understand, and literally every girl I think would somehow relate to this whole discussion. And I'm doing this discussion more personally than professionally because
Yeah.
we all go through things like that, you know,
Even if I go back
from
to the time when I was introduced to the idea of menstruation after I went through it was a shock to me. I wasn't told about it, I wasn't counseled about it, and suddenly there is this change in my body. I don't know what has happened, and I see that even I went through it when I was at my home. So even after it happened, I had my mom, and it was a very brief 2-minute conversation, and I knew that I had to go through this every month now. So this is how it is, and this is what you do about it, and that's it. But a lot of my friends, they went through it in school. So their first point of contact or first point of information was other girls who had gone through it, right? So
perspective.
exactly. So I think that yes, there is a whole, um I would say that for us girls, it's even if we do take therapy or if we do take help, there is always one part of us that wishes that, all the other people around us would also understand. And it's a generational cycle, yes. So, Neha, my
And not
next question
only
to you.
this, I'll
Yes.
just mention one point very quickly. We feel guilty. Unfortunately, we feel guilty of keeping in health, of taking care of ourselves. And this
Yes.
thing just, pains me so bad. Why do we have to feel guilty for taking care of ourselves? फ्रॉम
Yes.
शॉपिंग, तुम शॉपिंग बहुत ज़्यादा करती हो, तुम कपड़े बहुत ज़्यादा लेती हो, टू अ वेरी लार्जर कॉन्सेप्ट, इट जस्ट गोज ऑन कि तुम यू नो
Yes.
यू टेक केयर ऑफ योर and it's labeled
Yes.
as selfish. I don't like that, and that again creates a lot of mental health related issues.
Yes, yes, yes. That is completely true. And this is where I my next question was that even if today a woman decides to take care of herself, to seek therapy, to seek counseling, and it can be as simple as getting a skincare routine, or get, like, focusing on their physical health, deciding to take up a gym, membership. What are the socio-economic and cultural restrictions that women face? And it's a follow-up question that how can this telemedicine concept can help, because we have, I think, 7 to 8 minutes left to our conversation. So if we can address how, what are the challenges, how can women in their own selves overcome it, and how can, this online, I'm very glad that COVID has brought us to the realization that online consultations are a valid type of consultations, but how can this help further?
Okay, so yes, there are so many restrictions of the fact that मतलब it's so much related कि पार्लर क्यों जा रही हो, like literally I have seen girls struggling with the fact that they have to go and go to a parlor, go to a salon for some manicure, pedicure, whatsoever, some hair treatment, whatever it is. So coming from this to the a higher degrees, okay, why do you need support? Why do you need to go to a doctor? Why do you need to go to a psychologist for that matter? तुम ठीक हो, बस ये चेंज करो, ठीक हो जाओ, थोड़ा सा वेट कम कर लो, यू विल बी फाइन. इस तरह की चीजें इतनी कॉमनली होने लगी हैं, एंड देयर इज नो बाउंड्री ऑफ व्हाट सोशियो इकोनॉमिक कल्चर यू बिलोंग, what class you belong, what
Definitely.
either you're educated or not. It is just there. मतलब in every setting you will at least find two people commenting on this particular idea that तुम तो आजकल जॉब करती हो, and things like that. जॉब करती हो, घर का तो टाइम नहीं दे पाती होगी, या गर्ल्स हु स्टे एट होम, तुम तो घर पे रहती हो, पढ़ लिख लिया तो किसी किस्म की जॉब कर लो. These things are literally the main cause जिसकी वजह से female these days are going through so many mental health related issues. They can not stay in peace in whatever they are doing because they are always expected to do something. तो एक ये वाली जो चीज़ है कि सेल्फ केयर नहीं कर पा रही होती, it goes again beyond our literary capacity because ये रूरल एरियाज की अगर हम बात करें कि यहाँ पे तो इतना कॉमन नहीं होना चाहिए, लेकिन यहाँ पर भी ये इक्वली कॉमन है बिकॉज if you're single, then there is a problem. If you're married, then there is a problem. You have to keep yourself maintained, but at the same time, you should be dieting, or you shouldn't be, eating so many chocolates maybe, or so many ice cream maybe, or
Yeah.
ज़्यादा खाना नहीं खाने चाहिए because you need to control your weight or something like that. Body shaming हो गई है, या फिर whatever things that we have been discussing since the start of the session, वो सारी चीज़ें इसमें आकर काउंट होती हैं that we are made to feel guilty about taking care of ourselves. Simply, we are expected to take care of others, and we are literally हमें बहुत ज़्यादा तारीफें होती हैं, वी आर एक्नॉलेज, वी आर blessed and दुआएं मिलती हैं, people are like they're doing a really good job until the fact that we are taking care of others. The moment we start taking care of ourselves, and this is not at all selfish. If you're burnt out and you're going to take a break from work, it's okay. You're going to go out, have some me time at a restaurant, have some coffee, whatsoever. It's totally fine. But ये चीजें बहुत ज़्यादा ना इसको इस तरह नहीं देखा जा रहा होता कि ये ज़रूरी है। इसको इस तरह देखा जा रहा होता है कि ओके नाउ अब इन्होंने पढ़ लिया तो शी इज गोइंग टू डू दैट एज वेल। तो एक ये वाली जो चीज़ है दैट रिस्ट्रिक्ट अ लॉट ऑफ वुमेन to even if they have resources, even if they have they don't have any financial boundaries, they still have to think twice to buy something for themselves. They have to think for others first, and then they have to. And I am not saying that thinking for others is not something is something we should not do. I'm just saying that just as we are thinking of others, we need to think for ourselves as well. And if there is someone who's making us feel guilty about it, literally we need to break those shackles and be okay with that idea. Because the moment we'll be okay with that idea would start losing its power over us. So I think this is what it is, and how telemedicine, I would literally say this is a blessing because me being at an end where I receive the cases and where I am there to provide support, I have seen people who have been going through so many for a very long time. For example, a case with active abuse going on for like 5 to 6 years in the family. This person at least have the facility to talk to some mental health professionals छुपके ही सही ठीक है किसी और की वैलिडेशन के बगैर if she cannot talk about it to anyone through telemedicine she can at least talk and I'm not saying कि इस process को बहुत ज़्यादा systematic therapeutic होना है I'm just saying that she know that there is someone who would empathetically listen to her and who might provide a different dimension to a particular problem because
Yeah.
that's how she would feel hurt. That's how she would know that there are some more other options that she might not figure out. And that is a very minor manner of empowering her. But yes, that is happening through mental health. ये जो सारी टेलीमेडिसिन बेसिकली चल रही है and it is really a blessing for women, especially women,
Yeah.
because women still
Definitely.
have a lot of problems in going out and seeking help. Women are scared of their parents, their
Yes.
husbands, even their kids to, seek help. So telemedicine provides a very safe and a very systematic manner of doing so. And I think this should go on and this should be developed as a culture so that it's more accessible to the people who still are not aware of it.
Yes, yes, and definitely seeking help. I think telemedicine is a very safe and very affordable way to take help. And when we say help, talking to someone doesn't make you weak. You are still strong, you are still an amazing beautiful woman, and you're still doing great things. We just say that at one point you might need an additional push or an additional support, and we Sehat Kahani, Dr. Neha, Zong, we are here to facilitate you in that process. So if you have taken the first step, you're already an empowered amazing woman, and you can do wonders in this world. And this is all that we are here for. So thank you so much, Neha, for joining us for this session today. And hopefully hum phir inshallah milenge with our next amazing episode. Thank you, everyone. Allah
Inshallah.
Hafiz.
Thank you so much for having me for this.